Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I am back with another review. And of course, as always, this is another Chuck's Reviews After Dark. And we are taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series. This is Voyager class Starscream from the Transformers Bumblebee film. Now, we're starting off here in robot mode, giving you a quick look at the figure. It comes with 3 accessories. These 2 blasters that are on the wings, and this third handheld blaster right here. Nice little blaster here, and I think we're just gonna jump right into it. The big discussion about this figure is whether or not it is a retool of Blitzwing. Now, a lot of people have already said that they do not feel it is, that nothing on here feels new. But again, I have to say, looking at the figures side by side, there is clearly a shared silhouette. But, just again, the intakes here on the shoulders, the double intakes, new. The chest detailing here, the cockpits, new, different design. There's different molding. The arms, different. The ways the elbows come together. The design of the wings, even though it's the same silhouette with that upswept curve, different. And, what is the same? Well, looking at it, I'll be very honest. The only one part that I can present to you and say is similar is we come here to the upper leg, and you see right here on Blitzwing this inner thigh piece with the riveting and the 2 bits. Right there on Starscream, you have those 2 panels with the riveting. Now this panel is a little bit wider, but that same riveting pattern is right there on those 2 pieces, which leads me to believe that is some shared molding right there. The knees, looking at how the upper part of the knee comes together. And let me bend it here just to give a clearer look. You can see that there is some retooling where you have just that triangle type shape. And here you have that same shape, but you have on Blitzwing this extra gray piece that comes down. And obviously, and the knees actually bend quite differently. But yeah, I also want to make an argument. The toes, that tip of the toe, that curved piece. Now, obviously, these are all little bits. People will say, well, shared, they can be some shared parts or what have you. It's not a retool. In my opinion, I truly feel that if we were to take the figures apart, and unfortunately I can't do that, there's pin joints, there's glue. It's not like things are just going to pop off of ball joints, or I can, unscrew things. The inner frame, the inner workings are the same. So I am going to say, in my opinion, as a professional reviewer, I'm just going to let that hang in the air. That handling Transformers for quite a long period of time. This Starscream is a retool of Blitzwing. It shares a design scheme, and I feel an inner frame. Even looking here at the crotch, yes, it's different pieces, but you see there's like little molded greebles that are the same and in the same position. But, I don't want to carry on too much with it. Really, this review is about Starscream, and I want to focus on Starscream. A few things to note. When you get the figure out of the packaging, you want to make sure you swing the wings back to give you some room to move the arms. And I think you might have to adjust the wing tips up. Also, this little crotch piece, in package, it's folded in. You actually want it out. Also, these two black side pieces, which for the life of me, I have no idea what purpose they serve. Truly no idea what purpose they serve. They're folded in. They're meant to be folded out, such as this. So, yeah, really, I guess we can, we're done with the comparisons of between Starscream and Blitzwing. I mean, there's really no point to compare them in vehicle mode since they're vastly different vehicle modes. And yes, I'll even say Starscream has more transformation steps, but it's very similar steps, as you'll see as we go along. Opening legs, folding panels out, etc., etc. So, and I just want to give you a quick little look on the head, because I almost forgot. The head is on a ball joint, but I noticed if you play with the head enough, it will pop off the joint, especially if you try to lift it. You really can't lift it, and that has to do with how it sits on the panel and it's molded. So if you haven't already, start the transformation, remove the gun here, remove what we'll call the null rays, and, let's start bringing the wings down. Bring it down like that. Fold this panel up and around. This will then rotate around, just like so, and push that piece in so it's flush. The wings don't peg in as well as they did on Blitzwing. That's a little disappointing, but do that. I would say leave them like that for now, but be willing to move them if you need the space. Fold the hands up. Fold these side pieces in. Fold that cod piece up. Rotate the arms around so that the hands fold up underneath the arm. So now that the folded up hands are facing you, bring the arms forward. Grab this middle section here that the head is attached to and fold it all back. One thing I will give this figure credit. They did fix the issue where if you tried to move the arms, the whole torso piece would flip up. It feels like it's a tighter friction because there's nothing pegs in, but it is there. Coming down to the legs, first thing you want to do is come in on the inside of the leg, and you're going to flip out on this side, this whole piece, flip out this tail section, just like that. Come in on this side, do the same thing, but you're just going to flip out that one bit. Fold the feet up, just like so. And then what you'll do is you'll grab this soft plasticky section, bring it up, and that will tab into the side of the calf. And after doing that, you can then rotate the leg forward so that section is facing up. The tail fin is facing towards you. There's these very soft sections you're going to fold down, and they will just friction groove into some gaps there in the leg, and then proceed to bring these panels up. And that's about it for the legs right now. Coming back to the back section, grab that whole section, bring it down and around, just like that. Rotate the figure around. So now you have the nose cone section facing towards you. with this little blue bit facing toward you, open up this panel, flip out what will be the nose cone in the jet mode, and first couple times you're gonna need a little bit of effort to snap it into place, but it will snap into place. Next, what you want to do is unhinge the arms from the side of those thrusters. Now, the instructions show that the arms peg into each other, and, well, that's just not the case. There is no tab there. They just sit next to each other, and if you notice, unpegging them, very difficult. So get them lined up, and then bend them forward as far as they will go on the elbow joint and the elbow joint only. Once that is done, you can come back and close up this panel. Flipping the figure over, you want to give yourself some room here. Bring these wing sections down. They are on some sort of detent, so they will kind of go into the place that they want to. Push this section with Starscream's head as far back as you can, and bring the legs down and around, and they will basically the idea is it will fold around where you want to peg it together, and it will then fold around that piece, as well as there's tabs right where my finger is on each side, and that will peg into slots on the torso, and might have to play with it a little. Make sure everything is lined up. Of course, this is, as I always say, as a lot of reviewers say, easier to do when you don't have the camera in front of you. And I do believe I have it. These panels should close up. They kind of like overlap with each other, like that. And you can basically look in from this angle to make sure the pegs are situated as far down as they can go, which I do believe they are. Come on back underneath, flip up that section. Before you attach this gun, you'll attach these. I like to have the hollow bits angling inward. There's a tab that will fit into a slot under the wing. And just like that. And we'll do it again on this one. And then finally, tab here, 2 tabs on the other side of the elbow, slot right where my thumb is, 2 slots on the blue section, line that up, and it will all peg into place. Make sure you have the arms as far forward as you can. Again, I think it would have been actually nice if the arms did actually peg in together. I think that would have helped a little, but once you get it in, I mean, of course, I'm having problems now with it, but usually it's not this difficult. what the problem here is, but as you can see, just trying to line it up. There we go. There we go. All right, got it in. And there you have Starscream in its futuristic live-action movie Tetrajet form. Some little checks here if you want to make sure you have it right. This section, there is like little grooves that the pegs are supposed to sit into. If you adjust the wings, that will pop the legs up. So, yeah, you have a lot going on there. And again, it's not usually that fiddly to get done, but, trying to do it on camera is an issue. So, I think it's a nice jet mode. I'm not... Yeah, it looks a little bit better in hand than it did in the photos. You do have some open spaces here and there. And the back section, it's like, really what's going on. But again, Cybertronian form, it works the way it wants to. And I appreciate that it can, stand up on its own. So we'll pause, and I'll come back with my final thoughts. So Starscream really is an interesting figure. It's a thing. It is a Tetrajet. I like how it's a different take on the Tetrajet. Instead of the, points coming up, they slope down. I know we are getting at least another version of the Tetrajet, the repaint of this as Skywarp or maybe Thundercracker. I think it's going to be a store exclusive or something. Who knows? We might get the two of them. I've yet to see the Bumblebee movie, so I don't know if they actually appear. I think this is a good figure. Yes, it is a heavy retool of Blitzwing, and for most people, they're not going to go in the detail that I did trying to find where things come. The parts are shared and stuff is shared, so it stands alone as its own figure, which is perfectly fine. It is what it is. When we get retools like this, it impresses me to see how Hasbro can take something and how far they can push the change to get something new. Now, I know for a lot of people, they might feel that Hasbro retools way too much. We don't get enough new tooling. And I can understand that. I think, in Combiner Wars, it was getting very stale. And I think that was like a one-off line that really will never see like that again, where, you had the same 3 or 4 basic bucks just getting reused. And I think that's the term. Starscream shares, besides some of the parts, like small parts and stuff, slightly retooled, it shares the same overall buck as Blitzwing. But yeah, it's a great figure. It is starting to show up at retail now. Online retailers, it depends. I got this from the Command Store. A lot of online retailers, including Amazon, have this listed for July. But then again, they had Beast Megatron listed as April, and a lot of people who ordered it got it late last week. So those dates are merely suggestions. But it's worth a pickup. I think if you're a fan of the movie aesthetic, I'm not. This is a little bit closer to something I can handle. We actually have a Starscream that looks like a Starscream. But yeah, I think that's about it. So if you like this review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. While I will always appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions, communicate to Hasbro, communicate to YouTube through their algorithms that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. And if you want to make the ultimate sign of support, do consider joining my Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you to help me help you bring figures like Starscream to you, as well as keep up the infrastructure of this channel. But as I always say, if you can't do the $1 a month or $12 a year, your views are always appreciated. Now, I would also mention that there's a little card here in the corner, but apparently YouTube has undergone some changes, and for whatever reason, the whole card input, there's just something wrong that I'm not able to figure out, that they're not explaining in terms of trying to set up the link. So that'll be gone for a while, if not forever. So it is imperative, if you want to join my Patreon, click the link in the description below, and or reach out to me on social media. But with that being said, it's your old pal Chuck for Cybertronian Starscream. We will see you next time.